Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today. I'm so used to having headphones on. I'm not wearing them right now. So I am pleased to feature our guest from the city of Elko as we're talking about city issues in advance of this afternoon's regular meeting. We welcome our city manager, Jan Baum, here on Elko Live today.
Thank you for having us.
Hi. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. And you brought with you our fantastic Elko Regional Airport Manager, Mr. James Foster.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Welcome, James. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big week for the airport.
It is, and we're so excited to kind of roll out the news because everybody's invited to celebrate. We're going to do that. First, we'll hit some highlights on the agenda because there is a regular council meeting this afternoon, right, Jan?
Yes, there is today at 4 o'clock, and people can attend in person or online, and you go to elkocity.com and agendas, and you can log on there. If you want to interact, you can go use GoToMeeting, or you can just watch along or come in person.
And I do want to compliment the city. It is, I guess, in some areas still a work in progress, but the website looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm so glad you've used it. And
Yes.
I did have that on my list, that our website is up and going, and it's very informative. Kelly Woldridge, our city clerk, did that for us, and it's very informative, has a lot of history and information. And then there's also another website that has gone live, and that's for the airport, and it looks amazing as well.
Oh, that's great. I still have people say, well, if I want to book a flight in Elko, where do I go? And I guess we're going to find out about that today. So very cool. Mm-hmm. So I guess first on the agenda, though, we're going to get our update on the public nuisance there at 8th and Idaho, which hopefully it's becoming less of as the days and months go by.
Yes, there's the main issue with the Elko Inn and why it was declared a nuisance was the public safety concerns, and those have really decreased. In the month of November, actually, there have not been any calls, so that's great news. And council did approve adjusting their order, and so we're still in the process of getting that updated. But yes, it's looking a little better there, at least for public safety concerns.
That's great news. Again, it's an ongoing prospect. We talked with Vice Mayor and Councilwoman Mandy Simons last week, and she said she does believe it is the owner's interest to develop it into just a regular motel property again, rather than a transitional housing. Or
yes, it appears that that's what they're looking to do. And actually this week, the building department has a meeting with a local contractor to visit about how to get the building permit going for that building. So that's exciting news, and I hope we can get that going.
Yeah, that was a stellar property for Elko, and I'm sure it can soon be again. And do you know if there's any update on the water being turned back on?
Actually, I checked on that yesterday, and the water is not back on. No, it's not on yet.
All right, so that'll be brought up during this afternoon's regular council meeting. Also an update on the consent agenda. There is discussion of another concessionaire in the main city park, which that's pretty cool to be able to go to our beautiful park and take your pick of food trucks.
Absolutely. I believe there's 5 spots there for food trucks at the Elko City Park. And actually, this is the hot dog vendor. And it is a similar truck that we already had. It's just a new owner.
Oh, great. Okay, so you can still enjoy your Ruby Mountain hot dogs.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. That's a great quick lunch. And they'll be on hand, by the way, well, at least a lot of food trucks for the Elko Area Chamber tree lighting on Thursday night, 5 to 7 right there.
Second annual, I believe.
Yes.
So that'll be fun for the community.
And also on the agenda today, looking to fill a vacancy on Ruby View Golf Course Advisory Board.
Yes, unfortunately, we had a board member there pass away, and but we do need to get that vacancy filled. And so, if there are interested parties, Kelly will have that posted on the website once it's approved by council.
That's great. And you would be honoring Will Muscati. He cared so much about the golf course, and he put a lot of energy into that position. And so obviously someone who's interested in continuing that legacy would be a good fit.
Absolutely. Will was a very special person and very passionate about the golf course, and he will definitely be missed. And we will I'm sure have a tribute to him down the road. He was the representative that on that board that was a representative for junior golf. So the person that replaces him hopefully will have a special interest in junior golf.
Oh, that's really nice. Thanks for sharing that with us, Jan. I wasn't aware of that, and that's an important piece going forward, because in order to maintain and retain this beautiful municipal resource, we need to have people who want to golf in the future.
Absolutely. That's our future. And those junior golfers are very important to our future of our golf course and our community as a whole. So it's an important role on that committee.
All right. So that'll be talked about during today's City Council meeting. We might generally skip over the next item, but we've had experience with flooding, and so we want to make sure that we talk about the fact that there'll be a designation for an acting floodplain administrator in the absence of our city manager. Jan, if you get a little time off.
So, and actually, so currently the acting floodplain administrator is Bob Tebow, our city civil engineer, and he recently resigned, and so we're designating Scott, our assistant city manager, into that position. And that leads me to also add, which is on my list for later, is that the city of Elko does have a civil engineer posted right now, and that's an exciting position. The civil engineer at the city is involved in so many projects, from development to water, sewer, and the landfill. There are just so many different opportunities for the civil engineer at the city of Elko. And so if anybody's interested in that position, feel free to go to the Elko City website and to the Human Resources Department for those postings.
Well, Jan, thank you. Without getting too much into but Bob is a very popular and well-known city employee. Was he planning to retire, or was this unannounced?
No, I believe he has purchased a local engineering firm, and he will be greatly missed by the city of Elko, but we're very excited for him and his new opportunity.
Oh, that's great. And he has done a lot of wonderful things, and will also leave a legacy. And this is something that, frankly, a lot of city employees have been able to go on and do in the future, and they have been able to partner with the city in various ways on projects. I think Lana Carter is a good example of that.
Oh, right.
And Farron Kanakis.
And that was before I was there, but most definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, exciting news for Bob Tebow, certainly. Mm-hmm. And then I'm assuming that, his wife will continue working with the city. No? Okay.
No, she has resigned as well, because she will be working with him.
Okay. So that'll leave some opportunity for some restructuring in the city and new opportunities for other folks moving forward. Mm-hmm. So congratulations and best wishes to them on their team effort in that new endeavor.
Yeah, we're excited for them and wish them nothing but the best.
All right, so an exciting new year for the Tebow family. And moving on, past the consent agenda, I think, are we looking at making some updates to the Human Resources Personnel Policy?
Yes, so those are some that's kind of a bookkeeping item, but earlier in the year, Pool Pact, who is our insurance carrier for the city of Elko, they submitted some proposed changes to the personnel manual. And so Susie Schertz, who is our HR manager, is going through those chapters. And so the next two are on the agenda, and there aren't the changes are not real significant, but of course we need council's approval on those.
All right, and that does reflect in the next item too, and updating vehicle operators when it comes to the drug and alcohol policy. Does that have to do with marijuana use, perhaps, or?
Marijuana is a controlled substance that is listed in the in that policy, and a large portion of that policy has to do with DOT, which is Department of Transportation, and we have a lot of employees that have CDLs, and so those employees are subject to drug testing because it's a safety-sensitive position. And so anyway, there's some updates in there on drug testing and drug and alcohol testing and those procedures that are required by the DOT.
All right, thanks, Jan, for the update there. And that will be all on this afternoon's regular council agenda as the board meets in regular session today. And then a lengthy item in talking about where we are. The city police department was super excited about their wrap vehicle, I think is what it was called. We saw it in a parade, the Nevada Day Parade, and so
right.
kind of re-examining this. Yeah.
Yes, so this is a purchase. The police department received a grant to purchase an armored vehicle, and this is a very important piece of equipment for the bomb squad and so anyway, we put this out to bid and for the second time, and there are only two responsive bidders, but both of them were missing some information that was required by the federal requirements for the grant. And so it is a very lengthy agenda item, but so there are four different proposed action items here, and the biggest one being that we would reject the bids and go back out to bid. So which we may have to do because of the non-responsive items on the bids. So we're hoping that if it is rejected, then both of the vendors would respond again with complete bids.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm sure the police department would appreciate that too, since they've basically taken it on a big test drive.
Oh, yes. So that is the MRAP. That's a different piece of equipment.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And yes, that's a different piece of equipment. And yes, so it's looking to replace that piece of equipment.
Oh, okay. That's what we're looking at. Okay.
And it's to keep our officers safe if there's ever any, I don't know.
Unthinkable.
I don't want to even think about it. You're right.
Right.
So, but it would keep them safe, and I think it's we definitely need that piece of equipment.
Yeah, sadly in today's time. So we'll look forward to that discussion. I know our city police chief Ty Troughton's going to be on the radio show on Thursday, and
he'll be able to inform you about that.
Yeah, he'll give us a great update on that. So we always look forward to that show. And then moving on, let's see, to other agenda items. Want to make sure we're getting subdivisions. People always get excited to know about that.
Yes, so this is the Mountain View Townhomes, which is up on North 5th, and it's a great little project. And so what we're doing here is approval of the final map for the second phase of that subdivision, and so that's exciting, and that's what both items, the subdivision and the unfinished business, are both for that subdivision, which it's a great little project. We have quite a few subdivisions going on right now in the city of Elko. Up on Jennings, we have there's quite a subdivision going in there, and then across from Home Depot, and then this one, so yeah, it's exciting. That's
a lot of great growth, and we're really poised to house all the people coming in from the mining industry, right, Jan?
Absolutely. We always need more housing, and these individuals or groups that are willing to invest in our community, we really appreciate them.
Makes a huge difference. 32 townhome lots for residential development in this one in particular, so we'll look forward to the update. Also, under subdivisions and unfinished business. And something about, this one was also kind of cool in that it will facilitate more activities and recreation at the motor sports park, right?
Yes, so this is an agreement between the city of Elko and Elko County. And out at exit 298 out behind Joy Global, which is there's a motocross track, and so the city of Elko and the county have partnered to make sure that there's water for that motocross track, and so the county is providing some of the water rights for that, and the city is putting some of the infrastructure to get there. So it's a great partnership, and I think that land out there is going to be a great recreation facility for our residents of the county and city.
Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager and giving us an update going into this afternoon's regular council meeting at 4 o'clock today. That area is going to see a lot of really cool growth that's made possible again by the city's investment in infrastructure, like the lift station there at exit 298 and the water improvements that have already been made.
Yes, so we're excited about exit 298. So the water infrastructure has already gone in, and then the sewer, we actually are starting a sewer project for exit 298 to bore under the I-80 and make sure that exit 298 subdivision is equipped with water and sewer and services, which will be great for industrial and commercial development.
So expect more to come, and also in the vicinity of North 5th Street, too, because we see that area near the Snow Bowl, the Veterans Administration cemeteries coming right along.
Right. I'm hoping, I don't have an update on the Veterans Cemetery, but that is a really special project for our community, and I'm excited to see that get going. Mm-hmm.
Great. Thanks, Jan. And we know we visited recently with you and with our Elko Parks and Recreation Director, James Wiley, about Snow Bowl, and still got our fingers crossed for some more significant snow in that area.
Yes, James and I talked about that yesterday, and he said there's really only a skiff up there right now, which is unfortunate because he's done so much work up there, and they had their annual emergency evac training a couple weeks ago, and so and we're starting to hire our seasonal employees for the Snow Bowl, and so we're getting ready for the season. So hopefully that comes soon.
Hopefully that comes soon. I can't help but think we shouldn't invite our friends, with the Native community to do a special event there and maybe have a snow dance. Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I would love that.
That would be really cool. And you never, I shouldn't say you never know, because oftentimes it's successful. So that would be really great. Well, thanks, Jan. Anything else that's on your list before we transition over to James?
Yes, I want to just mention real quickly that the swimming pool we're going to have it closed for a little bit this winter, and that's going to start, which I can't even believe, it's almost the middle of December, but I believe December 16th through the January 29th. So it's going to be closed about 6 weeks, and during that period, we're going to do some maintenance and some upkeep. Like we were saying, we want to keep that pool open and going until the new recreation center is open, and also it'll cut down on some of the condensation inside the swimming pool. So I want to make sure everybody knows that the swimming pool will be closed December 16th through January 29th. And just get everybody ready. I think this transitions into the airport a little bit. Snow is coming, and snow removal on the streets will be coming, and so everybody make sure they have their snow shovels ready, and know that the snow removal will be coming. And I see downtown the Christmas lights were hung yesterday, and they look amazing. So thank you to the street department for that. And that's about all I have.
Oh, Jan, thanks. And that is, I'm glad you gave a shout out to Street Department, because that's a little extra duty that they do.
And actually, the street lights are the Parks Department.
Oh, they are
I am
Parks.
so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that is Joe and Carr and his team. They do the Christmas lights, and of course the Street Department does all the snow removal.
Oh, that's great. No, we have wonderful teams of people. It's a small but dedicated staff. You have something like maybe 80 to 100 employees, really, overall?
Actually, when we have all of our seasonals, we have almost 200 employees.
Oh my goodness, where have I been? That's great news. But you are hiring, and especially as you mentioned during the beginning of the broadcast, some key positions. So visit online.
Yes, always. We have police department patrol officers listed and a civil engineer.
Right. I think probably when I first started covering city news, you had about 80 employees. That's dating me, if anything. So, Jan, thank you so much for the update. And that is a great shift over. I was going to ask one thing quickly, too, before. Have you, I'm trying to follow up on this story, heard from anybody in the city having trouble getting their Amazon packages delivered? Have you heard about that? Because
you know what, I've been hearing a little bit, and most of that's just in the community, not necessarily at work. And yes, I know that Amazon transitioned a little bit to the United States Postal Service from using UPS as much, and so it's causing some longer lines. But I've also heard, and I haven't experienced it myself, but that the United States Postal Service is adding to some of their employees so that they can deliver to people's homes. But like I said, I haven't experienced it yet, but I've heard there's some long lines at the post office. So
yeah, unfortunately, and we have been trying to research that. I was looking at a Washington Post article just from today, so hopefully that will tell us more. It's happening in other communities too. It's a crush of packages as anticipated from the holiday season. U.S. Postal Service got the contract because Amazon feared that UPS was going to be on strike, which of course that did not happen. But here we are. So I guess we're not alone in the issue, and I am trying to research it, but I don't know if any of you have ever tried to get information from a federal agency. It's hard to do sometimes. So aren't we lucky? We have Jim Foster here, who's our Elko Regional Airport Manager. And Jim, you're totally transparent, completely accessible. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you for having me on. We do have some exciting news coming up this week, and as we move forward. So it's kind of an end of an era for us at the Elko Regional Airport, where our current provider, SkyWest Airlines, is upgrading our aircraft. We're moving from the CRJ 200 50-seat aircraft to the CRJ 900, which is a 76-seat aircraft and dual-class capabilities. Obviously, that means it's a larger aircraft, so there's more room. There's larger bins for overhead compartments, and it's just a lot more comfortable for our passengers. And one of the big features of that, as we move forward, one of the initiatives that Delta had was they wanted free Wi-Fi and dual-class seats for all of their aircrafts moving forward. And so a lot of the airports were able to upgrade. We're one of the last ones that will be upgrading to that aircraft, and that'll happen on December 1st. So the early morning flight on December 1st is still going to be the 50-seat regional jet, and then that late night arrival will be the larger 76 regional jet, or the 76-seat regional jet. One of the things that we've been working on, and it's going to help out our travelers, it's going to make it more comfortable, is our schedules. And so we were fortunate enough to get our return overnight schedule, which is kind of our bread and butter for our community with our business travelers. And one of the issues that came up was the connectivity over in Salt Lake City. And that's always kind of been a tight connection. And so one of the things that we've been able to do, working through a consultant, Air Planners, and SkyWest, is adjust that schedule so it makes for a more favorable arrival back into Elko, so your connections aren't so tight. Another great thing that's occurring around the same time is the construction over at the Salt Lake City International Airport is finally benefiting us. And so we no longer will have to go to remote parking and ride the shuttle and then walk all that way to get to our gates. We just heard today that one of our city employees flew, and she actually arrived into the A gates over in Salt Lake City. So that's that coincides with this upgraded aircraft that we're pretty excited about. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony at noon on December 5th or December 1st. And I invite the community to come out. Unfortunately, we won't have an aircraft there to look at, but we can still celebrate the monumental moment for our facility and for SkyWest Airlines as a whole. So another big thing that's pretty exciting, Jan had alluded to that earlier, was we updated our website. So you had made the comment when people ask you, oh, how do I book flights? Well, flyelkonevada.com. We'll get you to where you need to go. So it's an updated website. We're still putting in pictures, and we're still working on it. So it is a work in progress, but it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot smoother, and much better to get to where you need to go when you're looking for things.
That's great. We know that it had been dormant for a while, but flyelkonevada.com, that's the one website to go to, and that's where you can click on to find those connecting flights, right, Jim?
That's right. That'll take you right there. There's all the links for your connecting flights and your rental car needs as well. It will be located on there. Some flight information. We do get a lot of calls. What can I bring? What can I bring on the flight? So there's links to the TSA. One of the big things is we get calls for pre-check quite a bit, or hazmat endorsements for the people that have CDLs. So there's links on our website that'll take you directly to those agencies as well to get those things accomplished for you.
That's great, Jim. Thank you. I'm sure that was an added task and something in addition to shoveling snow and all the other things that you get to do as the Elko Regional Airport manager, right?
We do everything out there. We were actually plowing snow on Thanksgiving to make sure that we could get our passengers into the airport. Unfortunately, we do not control the weather, but we do have control over the surfaces to make it as safe as possible for the traveling public, and especially during the winter time, because people don't realize, you get on a flight, you go to your destination, you have a good time, then you come back and everything's hunky-dory. They don't realize the amount of effort and time that goes into making sure that there's a safe surface, a safe runway, a safe airport. And we take a lot of pride in what we do, and my staff has been great with that in the past, and we'll keep plugging along when it comes to that. Those early mornings, that's one of the things with the new flight schedule that's different, is our early morning snow removal usually starts about 4 a.m. and in order to get those flights out. So.
Well, and I can say from personal experience, too, that it is so easy to get in and out of Elko Regional Airport. The parking is not only convenient, but inexpensive. The TSA staff are friendly and accommodating. There's just not a lot of waiting, and it's a beautiful facility. We're really fortunate to have an airport of that quality.
Yeah, we truly are. When we built the facility 20 plus years ago, I don't think anybody anticipated the events of 9/11, which created the TSA or anything like that. But over the course of time, it's about the people that we have that work, and not necessarily for the city, but work at the airport. It's the customer service agents that work at SkyWest. It's the TSA folks that are there every day and helping us all out. And I consider us all a big team out there, because we're all kind of in this together, and that's servicing our community and our passengers.
And you must love airplanes, right? There's all that in there too. I mean, a lot of people I see love airplanes. They just hear an airplane and they just immediately look to the sky. Is that you?
I kind of, in a sense, that it still amazes me to see things flying through the sky. I don't get into makes and models and years, but I will stop what I'm doing and watch an airplane fly by if I have the possibility. It's an aviation bug, and you get this bug, and that corresponds to the aviation industry, and it's really kind of hard to get rid of it. And it's a lot of fun, because we do see some very interesting things, and that's what's kind of great about our airport, in the sense that we can have VIP visits. We've had President Bush here, we've had President Trump, we've had Vice President Cheney before, and that is because of the size of airport that we are and the accommodations that we can provide through fire service and things of that nature.
We have a fantastic history, too, of aviation, just like a lot of things that are neat about Elko, right, Jim?
Yeah, that is one of Elko is unique in the sense that originally our airport was created around 1917, and then through the course of time, it transitioned into part of the first airmail route that happened in about 1926 time period. And we've just transitioned, and we've grown, and we've had different commercial service providers. United used to fly into here a lot. Frontier was here for a little while. We had Casino Express Airlines. We have SkyWest Airlines. One of the cool things about the history of the Elko Regional Airport is Varney Airlines, when they started that airmail route, they combined with another airline and created what we know as United now. And so all that originated in Elko, and we still have some of the original facilities from back then. A while back, our airmail hangar blew down, but it was repurposed by a local construction company. It's still on site, so we do have a lot of history at our facility.
Yeah, there's some great historic photographs inside, the waiting area there, and so that's an important part of our local aviation history, our Elko Regional Airport. We had a flying sheriff for a while, previous Sheriff Harris,
Yep.
and he would fly in and out of the Elko Regional Airport. We had a flying veterinarian, also Doc Cuthbertson, remembering his legacy and memory. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheriff Harris.
J.C. Harris.
Or J.C. Harris.
Yeah.
He was the original airfield was named after him prior to renaming it the Elko Regional Airport. It was Elko Municipal Airport, J.C. Harris Field. So it's still referred to that. As you talk to people, obviously you knew about that, Lori. I don't hear that very often, but I was around during the time of the transition of the name change, so that's part of that history that I have as well.
Really cool. So sounds like we're not done yet. We still have places to go and things to do. And with the arrival of this brand new plane on Friday, you're a part of providing that for us, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah, it's something that we want to do for the community. Obviously, we want better service. We want more service. We want to get to our destinations. It's a slow process, just with the changing of the airline industry over the course of the last 3 years is a dramatic change. And so we're trying to do our best to accommodate all the needs of the community.
Well, thank you, Jim. Jim Foster is Elko Regional Airport Manager. I guess just in closing in that topic, we could mention we have the Air Alliance of Northeast Nevada, the Flight Alliance, right? Still working on that board of directors?
Yeah, so the Flight Alliance of Northeastern Nevada is a work in progress. What we're trying to do is create that public-private partnership to help promote the airport, to help promote our community and events that are going on, marketing, getting the word out about Elko. It'll help us in the future. What we're trying to do is mold it after an organization that's currently in Reno and called RASC. And I cannot ever remember what the acronym stands for, but it's RASC. And what they do is they help the airport out over there, attracting additional commercial air service and things like that. And so it's not an unheard of process. It's unheard of for us because we're just trying to get it established. So that's exciting news for the future of our community as well, and not just solely based upon the airport needs.
Well, more to come on that too, Jim. Thank you so much. We always love when you visit, and I know you're going to present to council this afternoon, so right? I think maybe.
No, I
under
don't.
reports? No.
Well, under reports, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm obviously going to talk about what we talked about today. I do have another thing is on December 14th and 15th, the I Don't Know Deli is hosting Santa Claus from 5 to 7 p.m. each day. And Santa Claus is going to have, and I just found out today, and I don't have a lot of information, Santa Claus is going to have a distant cousin from the South Pole join him, and his name is Poncho Claus.
Fernando.
And he's
We
gonna.
love you.
We couldn't find a burro, but he arrives in a lowrider.
Oh my gosh, okay, that's so cool.
So it'll be a good event. So bring the kids out, come out, enjoy our fabulous restaurant that we have out there.
That's the I Don't Know Deli, and it's you don't know maybe what the special might be. That's kind of the novelty of it, but it's great food. I mean, and you get company too if you want. Someone will come and talk to you and tell you all about Elko. And
Yeah.
yes, it's all
It's
homemade.
great. I just had lunch there prior to coming here.
Ooh.
Fernando's a great entertainer.
Yeah, he'll tell you. I mean, and he can. He's like a mini ambassador, sort of tour guide, if you will, for people coming and going. It's great.
Yeah, and to sit and talk to him, and he's great. It's homemade. It's delicious food, and it's been a really big asset for our airport because the area sat vacant for a long, long time, and so. Whatever we can do to support him and to support any of our other tenants out at the airport is always a big help.
Well, thanks for mentioning that too. December 14th, 15th, I Don't Know Deli hosting Santa and Poncho Claus. That'll be really fun. We'll keep reminding people of that. Just in closing, I always forget, but I mean to. We also have a thriving general aviation side to the Elko Airport, Jim.
There is a big part of that. We have approximately 65 tenants, and they're all general aviation pilots. A lot of things, people do realize that we do have medical flights that come in and out. We have 2 service providers for that. UPS flies in every day. Nevada Gold Mine flies in every day. So there's flight lessons going on, and there's things on the general aviation side of things that help support our facility and help support our local FBO, our fixed-based operator, Mountain West Aviation.
Great. Well, those are things that might also grow in the future. Sounds like a future show if you want to come back. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll come back anytime. Anytime Jan brings me.
All right. Thank you. Jan Baum, our city manager, this afternoon's meeting, 4 o'clock today, right?
4 o'clock today. And I just want to mention, I have to have one little plug for the airport as well. I booked a flight in June, and always check flying out of Elko. It was like $100 more. And obviously driving to Salt Lake, staying in a motel, paying for their expensive parking, you can have $400 or $500 into your added to your flight. So always check flying out of Elko. Like I said, I had a flight. It was $100 more, well worth the cost, and I'll probably save money by flying out of Elko. So I wanted to mention that.
Jan, I'm glad you did. Thank you. Jan Baum is our city manager. Jim Foster, Elko Regional Airport Manager. FlyElkoNevada.com. Check that site out and keep checking it. Put it in your bookmarks, and then when you're planning your travel, make sure you check it often, because you just don't know. Those flights could come in extremely inexpensive. I know that I've been lucky to do that one or two occasions too. So it works. FlyElkoNevada.com. The website's up and running, and you should be too. And then we'll see you Friday noon at the ribbon cutting at the Elko Regional Airport to celebrate that brand new service that we're getting. Again, thanks to Delta, our local connection here in Elko. Thank you so much, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today.